Hope you're doing better than I am today. It was a rough one. I'm going to be super transparent about it because I am so utterly and absolutely demolished right now, both physically and mentally. Physically, we're going to put it at a 6. As tired as I was today, the weights moved. The form was, for the most part, good. The first set on the clean and jerks it was very, very sketchy I can say that as the least. That's okay. I think all the other sets I made up for it, the form was pretty solid all throughout after that first set, and everything on bench moved pretty well considering how tired I am. But mentally, it is going to be a 5. It is the very, very rare day where, I've said before, when I say mentally and I give it anything, I know the numbers may seem high to some people, but to me, 5 is halfway. It is the bare minimum that I need to get through a good day. So today was not a bad day when it comes to my positive and negative interactions. There was zero energy, it's just one of those very rare days where the passion is super low. Not that I'm not feeling passionate, I could not get my brain hyped up for the lifts. It was really, because you need to be mentally in it, and especially an Olympic, in order to perform the lifts as comfortably and confidently as possible. And it just was not there, and it was really hard to force myself through. I'm very, very lucky to have some really good gym homies that were supporting me through it, getting me hyped up, because I could not do that shit on my own today. I would have, of course, gotten through it if it was just me, but god damn it, I'm so grateful to have some good people to make it a little bit easier on myself. But it's just, I'm not going to lie to myself and say that today was not a bare minimum kind of day. I got through it. Tomorrow's a rest day, so it kind of lines up a little bit nicely at least. But, the whole program has gone super well. I got to give myself credit. It's a new program I'm trying out just for fun, just to see if it works and if I like it. I'm always up for change and all that shit. But it was very, very difficult. I was going really, really hard. And again, I think the weights on any other day would have flown, would not have felt that crazy, not that uncomfortable. I just think because my mental was so low, it was one of those rare days that it actually ended up dragging my physical down. So I was going to talk about something else, but just since I'm so hooked on this topic at the moment, I'm just going to talk about the effect that your mentality has on your physical body, in the sense of, as I always, how I'm talking with my scale or whatever the fuck, if your mentality is low enough, your mental energy, in the sense of how much, hype you need to get yourself through a workout, how much passion is a better word, it can dictate how physically in it you are able to be. And the lower your mentality, you are also more susceptible to injuries. I fully believe that. Of course, scientifically, I can't just be I felt a little off today, so my muscles were down by 5%. My muscles were fine. Everything felt good. The mobility was there. The strength was there, obviously, because I lifted everything. It is so much harder to unlock all of the power and every muscle in your body when you are not mentally just going into it I'm going to do my absolute best. I'm going to kill it this set, I can feel my mid lumbar muscles right now just super tensed up, because I wasn't as focused on I just wasn't as focused. You can hear me now. I'm barely getting through this conversation myself. But the less focused and in it you are, either one, you might overthink it, or two, you'll underthink it, which I know that's not a real word, but it's just a sense of you're not putting enough thought into your form and into your own personal strength. You're just thinking, I just got to get through this. I got to get through this. I just got to get to that next set. And it's kind of like how I talk about people are focused on their future. Even if it's the next set kind of future, still the future. And when you're thinking about the future that's not going to be there to support you. You're not going to be able to focus as hard as you need to on the present lifts, and it leads to a lack of control overall. And my mid lumbar muscles, my left arm especially, feels really weak because I was less explosive and less sure of my form than I normally am. And so in the parts of my body that kind of go out first, they were going out today. Because whenever you're like, if you're injured, for example, your body's gonna shift all of the stress to other parts of your body to mitigate the stress on that part that hurts. And today, of course, nothing's hurt or injured, but I wasn't super focused in, so all of my weaker muscles took a big beating because they just, even if the form looks good on camera, it's a feeling. I can't explain it, but left, it wasn't there. But regardless of this, there needs to be a turnaround. And of course, I'm in the moment. I need to sleep on it and, wake up tomorrow and take a really good rest day and come back to drive that passion back into it. But these are one of those days where, like, you need to really just, chill out, accept that what you did today was your absolute best. Because, God damn it, I tried today. I put in my absolute hardest. It may not look the best. Some of the reps may have looked sketchy, but I got through it, and I conquered it, and I need to be proud of that in its own. And I've always been a huge proponent of when you can get yourself through one of those really hard, quote unquote, worst days, that is what makes the best days. Even though today was hard and my mental energy ended up dragging down my physical along with it, which again, it's so unfortunate because you can have I feel like any mental on my personal scale above a 5, even if it's a 5.5, 5.1 even, just anything above the bare minimum, it makes it a more positive day in general. And that means I can focus on the physical a little bit more, and I can be more zoned in and put a little bit more stress on my body. And today I couldn't put that that quote unquote core confidence, I like to call it, because especially in Olympic, everything's limited by your core. Of course, mobility and form is a huge proponent, but if you have form and mobility, if you can't hold the weight, it's more like, I think, a core issue, with not just your abs, but also the whole trunk of your core, your abs, your obliques, your low back, just the whole around, Just everything's got to be tight in place, your lats, everything, it's all got to be there. And my core confidence did not feel like it was there. But where I left off, so I'm going to try not to get on a tangent about it, is now that I have pushed through such a hard day mentally, and again, it is what it is. I can't be mad because everything went, and I put in my absolute best. I need to be happy about that, but in the moment, I can't lie to myself and say that I'm not a little disappointed that I let myself get to that point to where I actually let my mental drag my physical down with it. Physically, it could have been a 7.5 today, but it's one of those rare days where I let the bare minimum take over. I had gym homies, I had proper form, I had good mobility, my muscles felt great, and I let it get to me, and that's okay. You eat shit some days, but again, back to where I left off, if you can get through those shit days, especially putting in as much effort as you can, because it's already hard enough. Again, it's never going to be 100% of whatever effort you can do on your very best days. But if whatever 100% you got that day, if you're pushing it and you're putting as best effort as you can, that's what matters. And because I've gotten through such an absolutely ferocious workout, really, really, really tremendous stress on my body today, I am so confident that I'm going to have even better days to come. Because I truly, I know it's harder to believe in life. I do believe this with life too, but it's harder to take on this kind of mindset, but when everything is kind of like obligational when it comes to jobs and stuff. But I truly believe that when you put in your maximum effort every day, even if it's not as much as you want it to be, but you know you're trying your absolute goddamn hardest, your life will give back to you. You just have to accept and be grateful of what it gives back. And I am very, very confident that I will bounce back 3 times as hard as I have ever bounced back after this kind of a workout. I'm gonna explode next week. I can feel it. It's gonna be a full pause week. I do every other week as a pause week on purpose for the sake of deloading a little bit so that I can build back up to a heavier week up until I get to that one really heavy week at the end, which is 2 weeks from now. And I think I'm gonna crush it, just because this kind of a bare minimum day does not happen with me. It's very rare. I have trained myself mentally so much in my discipline that I'm typically always above a 5, even when I fail at my worst. You know, I put in my maximum effort and I feel good. But today I let it get to me, and I'm gonna use this short-term obsession to drive an even longer passion. And that's all that matters. I'm gonna put my everything into it. I'm gonna put my full willpower into it, and that's all I can do. And I guarantee you, I will come back so much stronger. It's always gonna kick back so hard when you hit a rock bottom, you could call it. But if you can get yourself out of a rock bottom like that, even if I may sound dramatic, but this is just how I feel deep down. But I'm gonna do so much better. And it's not that I need to believe that. I absolutely believe that. It is a core principle in my brain that I absolutely know I'm going to kill it. And so I know this wasn't as much an advice video as more of me just ranting about my kind of shitty day kind of video. But I think that a lot of people might need to hear that. You know, some people might be feeling pretty shitty today. I know a lot of people have a lot more hard workouts more than I do. So just keep doing it. You know, do your absolute best. That's all you can do. No one's expecting any more, and you shouldn't expect any more out of yourself. Just hope for the best and try to expect no more than the bare minimum. You know, just put in your absolute best, and whatever comes out after the bare minimum, you know that came straight out of passion. And I don't want to go off too hard about it, because I'm so drained. I can feel my middle back muscles really tensing. I'm honestly kind of scared of leaning over because I don't want to pull something that kind of a day. And again, I don't want to let this deter me, because a bad day in the gym can make it seem like your program's failing when it's not. So I want to keep pushing through and really commit to what I wrote out and see where it goes from there. And, you know, only then can I truly, you know, just be able to push that shit as hard as I can. That's all it is. So you'll see me. I'm going to do better. That's all that matters. So I hope this helped anybody if you're having a shit day. I'll talk to you later.